All righty. Well, speaking of seeing some more wrestling, the next match on the card was the Coffin match with Swerve. And this was the one that was changed because of the flip-floppery of AR Fox and etc. But it ended up being Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage against Darby Allin and Sting in a coffin match where the only way to win is to put one of your opponents in the coffin at ringside and close the lid. And obviously, as a byproduct of that, anything goes. Lazy booking. But I swear to God, are the two guys that came out rapping for Swerve, Brian, you may know this. Obviously, you know I wouldn't. Are they just like his friends that came with him? Were they supposed to be someone, stars of some description? And were we supposed to know who they were, or was it supposed to get heat on the heel because he's got his friends wrapping him to the ring and making a big deal out of it? And was this good in any way?
I personally did not think this was good. Not to say that they aren't good rappers, but this specific, or he wasn't a good rapper, but this specific performance.
Well, there was two of them. There was two guys.
No, it was one guy rapping, the other guy was DJ Who Kid or whatever his name was.
Well, doesn't he was there.
He didn't rap. You didn't see him with a microphone.
Well, then what was he there for?
He kind of danced. He's there as part of the show.
Well,
he's there to
all right, then he was
lend
dancing.
support.
The other guy was rapping.
So there was one rapper, and Swerve raps, but he wasn't rapping. It was a way to give Swerve a big entrance. And, yeah.
Are they somebody? Should we know who the fuck they were?
Everybody's somebody. Sometime.
All right. Thank you, Dino. And then Darby and Sting, they did an entrance video where they were wandering the streets. I said, my God, they're wandering the streets of Whitechapel. And I'll be a son of a bitch. Wouldn't you know who won the pony? When the announcers talked about it, they said, well, everybody saw Sting and Darby on the streets of Whitechapel. I get Darby would have probably got ripped by Jack, but he had his big brother with him. Sting did an English accent. That was kind of interesting.
Someone sent us an email. I don't have their name in front of me, and I apologize, but they said, when Sting wrestles, he's dressed like a woman wrestling in Saudi Arabia.
You know what? He could have some kind of goddamn major skin condition, and we wouldn't know. Because he's covered from neck to toe, and he's got makeup on every part of his face. Is he wearing gloves? I think he wears gloves, doesn't he?
Does he have a body cast? I don't know what's going on.
There could be. Maybe he's not in there. Maybe he's not even in there. No wonder he's not killed himself by now doing all this stuff. He's not even really in there.
This is our stunt Sting.
Apparently the coffin match, because I'm used to the Undertakers, I've been involved in those. Those were singles. The tag team coffin match, also, it's not a taggy. That's all four. Anything goes. Everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Sting beat up everybody with a black cricket bat. Then they put on thumbtack-covered jackets and splashed the heels in the corners with them.
That was my favorite because Darby takes out Sting's jacket. He has to show, it's like, Sting, the jacket. And he holds it up for Sting.
Again, I think if you wear a thumbtack-covered jacket, you are automatically someone that I don't want to have any association with. Just if you have one. You're a fucking moron.
Suzanne, throw away the coat. Throw away the coat. Is this mic on?
Yes. The heel stopped the baby faces and took the jackets off. And then Christian duct taped Darby's hands behind him. But Darby he did a no-hands moonsault on Christian and a no-hands diving cannonball to the floor on Swerve. And I would be thinking, even if this motherfucker doesn't care whether he breaks his own neck or not, I'm not letting a guy, even if he's only 125 pounds, dive on me or at me with his hands tied behind his back. It's ridiculous. And Christian did the best job he could, and best job probably of anybody on the roster regularly, of being in one of those things, and he still didn't do anything stupid or get anything on him. Really. He somehow can still be a professional in the middle of all of this. And Sting then comes off the apron onto Swerve is leaning over the middle of the table. And they're trying to give Sting a spot where he does stuff to get a pop, but at the same time, they don't want him to hurt himself. So Sting is going to dive off the apron and splash Swerve's back, and Swerve's going to go through the table. But since he's just coming off the apron and Swerve was already kind of laying on it, and the way he hit, again, it didn't break. Because it needs to be more force than that, even on those flimsy tables. So then Sting, trooper that he is, gets back up in the ring, steps out, and leg drops Swerve and goes through the table that time. But then Swerve is going face first through the fucking table to a concrete floor with a guy 230 pounds or whatever Sting is now under that outfit, sitting on his back. Why do they have to do this? It doesn't have anything to do with wrestling. You roll your eyes because it's constant. Why do I want to see the same fucking thing all the goddamn time? Then they got Christian almost in, but Dino Douche came out and he just beat Darby Allin up, even though he's not in the match. And it's not like interference of the heels of days gone by. It's people just come out and get involved in the match. Well, it's no DQ. So that means you're a fucking bad fucking booker, a bad fucking producer, a bad agent, or a bad wrestler. You can't figure out any other way to do it. And then here comes fucking Nick Wayne and hits the dinosaur with a skateboard, and the dinosaur doesn't sell it and just knocks Nick out and choke slams him on the floor on the skateboard. So again, this 19-year-old kid or 18 or whatever the fuck he is going to demolish his goddamn discs in his back for stupid bumps that nobody's going to remember tomorrow. You know the only reason they're remembering it? Because I'm talking about it now, Nick. It's the only reason. As soon as I stop, they're going to forget. So you're a fucking moron. The crowd was silent as Dino carried Nick Wayne out of the arena. And then Sting beat up Swerve and Christian. And Darby coffin dropped off the top rope onto the coffin because Swerve moved. And then I wrote, why am I still making notes like this is a real match? So jumping ahead, basically Swerve double stomped Sting off the top. They put the coffin in the ring. Swerve tried to put Sting in the coffin, but Sting blocked it. Swerve slammed Sting on the coffin and went to the top and did a 450 onto the coffin because Sting moved. And then Sting gave Swerve a scorpion death drop on the coffin and put him in it, but couldn't close it. And then Darby Allin coffin dropped the coffin, even though he had just done that and missed and fucking hurt himself minutes before. He coffin dropped the coffin with Swerve caught in the middle of the coffin, and then they closed it. Thank fucking God.
Swerve's hair was not all the way in the coffin. I don't think he technically should have lost.
I think the losers were everybody involved in this match and the people that had to watch it. If this is what wrestling is, then stop calling it wrestling. Just talk about, here's our all-elite stunt fighting, and put guys in different settings every week and let them have stupid, silly, fake-looking fucking fights in different settings. Maybe they'll be in an ice cream shop next week. The fuck is this?
It's a coffin match.
Any closing thoughts?
Not really. Again, It was like 2 shows up to this point. It was not that everything was perfect, but the show up to the point Jim Ross left, and then it just became like garbage unlimited.